So I am making myself a sweetgrass perfume today, and I'm pretty sure if I don't record this, some of y'all might come after me. Because I know you want to know how to make perfumes. I know, and I don't know. I used to make them a lot, and I used to have them in my apothecary a lot. And then 2020 happened, and like a huge amount of the population lost their ability to smell. On top of the pervasive use of essential oils and fragrance chemicals, which are potato, and they kill your olfactory nerve endings. And so I had just stopped making them because I was tired of people like not understanding that they just can't smell because their nose is burned out. So now I just make them for myself, and it's been a minute because, I don't wear perfume a whole lot. So today I was like, ooh, I gotta get the last of my pretty relatively unhappy sweetgrass. No, she just got planted this year, but it was like not a great year. But this will be the last harvest I make. And with sweetgrass, it's important that you harvest her because like our actual relationship with her makes her spread, right? Like harvesting her, cutting her, all this stuff will make the patch bigger next year. So I've been really mindful about this year. And I'm just going to use a super aesthetic jar, and the sun's coming in, so it's like, oh, in the jar. Right, but I thought, hey, I'll record this because I know that you probably would like to hang out with me while I do this. Now, normally I'd use a normal tincture jar, but I don't want to walk up into the garage and get, like, a mason jar. And I have this little aesthetic jar, and so it'll work because it has a seal right here, so it'll stop the alcohol from evaporating, and it's like, this is my glowy perfume jar, so it's alright. People overcomplicate perfumes. Perfumes for a very long time throughout history have just basically just been alcohol and fragrant plant matter, right? And that's what I'm doing today. So you're gonna be like shook at how easy this is. Now, I'm gonna just kind of give her a twist like that. She smells so nice. I don't mess with essential oils, so I make all of my own perfumes and everything like that. And I feel like people lose or never get to know the true smell of a plant, like in her nuances, when you work with essential oils beyond all the health risks and all that type of stuff, like, because it's so hyper processed and compounded, and you're losing lots of stuff, and there's lots of properties that aren't present that don't survive. So tincture it is. So really I've just kind of given her a little bit of chop to increase the surface space, right? Ta-da. I could have had more, but that's what I have in my garden. Now, you don't have to have this big of a jug of glycerin. You can get small bottles of glycerin. I'm just going to put a splash. I don't know. That's maybe a tablespoon. You don't want to overdo it. Glycerin is a fatty alcohol. Don't let people tell you that it's alcohol free. It's just a different type of alcohol that your body has a hard time processing. Now, you do get glycerin from food, right? Your body turns that in and it processes it just like a carbohydrate. But external glycerin like this, ingested, doesn't work the same. Right, so, but I have it in, this isn't for internal use anyways. Sweetgrass is toxic. You can't use her internally. Right, but the glycerin that I've added to that, basically, let me get the sun in there just right. Basically, it helps me catch the fat soluble properties of her scent, but also glycerin acts like sticky. Like, you don't really feel it, but it helps the scent stay around longer in perfumes. And now I'm gonna put some 100 proof vodka over top. It's probably about enough. I have to be able to close the jar. There's gonna be oxidation happening in here. I know. I'm always talking about fill it to the top because you don't want oxidation to happen in, like, the tinctures that you're making for internal use. But in this case, if I leave a little bit of oxygen and oxidation starts happening, it will degrade the plant matter faster and let the scent of the sweetgrass out more, because we're not after this for her like medicinal uses, we're after this for her scent. So I'm going to leave some oxygen in the top there, and boop. Right, and this is going to sit for like 6 to 8 weeks or more, right? When the video's done, I'll probably get a spoon and stir it, because again, I wasn't planning on this. I was literally just sitting down to make this. I was like, turn the camera on. Right? Let people see, April. And this is just going to sit for like 6 to 8 weeks, maybe longer. And now you can apply this process to any fragrant herb for the most part. Lilac is tricky. I know, but you can go watch videos I have about lilac. You have to use fat, tallow, or lard to catch the scent of lilac because her properties are just fat soluble. You won't catch them with alcohol, right? But sweetgrass will. And you can see she's actually starting to dance a little. Up and down, up and down. And then when this is done, I'll strain it out. And I'm just going for the aesthetics today. I know it's for plants, but I'm gonna pretend like I'm a plant. Right, like why not? Isn't it so pretty? I'm like, oh, let me spritz before I go to the grocery store because that's the only place I go, right? Like, or things like that, but I thought it's really pretty. Now, you can do this with certain pine trees. You can do this with vanilla beans. You can use sandalwood. Like, if you get sandalwood bark, make sure that it's the ethically harvested variety. But with the sandalwood, I suggest using, like, Everclear, a higher percentage alcohol. If you're working with bark and roots and you want to make a perfume, the 95% and higher alcohol will extract better. But after I'm done with this, I've got two choices. I want it to stay shelf stable, which means it has to have 25% ABV, which means alcohol by volume. So I cannot add a lot of water to this. For every cup of vodka, you don't really want to add more than like 2 tablespoons of water, right? Because for every cup, it's only half a cup of alcohol, right? So you can add like a splash of distilled water to this to bring down that alcohol smell. But old school perfumes smelled like alcohol, but the alcohol smell evaporates off, and ironically, as it evaporates away, that's what gets you smelling the VOCs that are going to be released, the scent, the smell, from your natural perfume. But if you are a person who like bathes in essential oils and like we can taste you in line at checkout, you're not going to smell this, right? There's a real possibility that if you smoke a lot of cigarettes or a lot of weed or burn scentsy candles or use, diffusers in your home and you're super into essential oils, you probably won't smell this perfume because your olfactory nerve endings are burnt out. But if you're a chemical sensitive person, if you live a low scent life, if you're not using essential oils, if you don't smoke, this will probably smell pretty amazing to you. You might not have sweetgrass. I understand that most people don't have sweetgrass growing. She is native to North America, but also like most of Western Europe. People don't realize that sweetgrass is also from Western Europe. You can try this with dried sweetgrass. I have not found that the scent carries over very well with the dry, and it's probably because once she's dried, a lot of those like delicate terpenes have off-gassed and they're not present anymore, and then what's left, you either can't catch it with just alcohol or there's not enough to catch it. So if you have dried sweetgrass, it's just better to burn her. But that's how I made my perfume today. So I guess if you want to support my capacity to do impromptu videos and pick things up with my hands and spritz myself with air, keep a roof over my head and vodka in my jars, consider becoming a member. It's just a way to throw me a couple bucks a month. There's nothing hidden behind a paywall. You do get early access to videos, like members got to see this video early, but if you can't afford to, I don't even want you to worry about it or feel pressured or anything, because these videos release on a weekend no matter what. So it's not a paywall, it's just a little bitty baby time wall. If you can't afford to do that, or even if you can, make sure that you like, comment, share, subscribe, turn notifications, and sharing is super important because it helps other people realize that they're smart enough to do this too, just like you are, right? How easy was that? That was some plant matter, some glycerin, some vodka, some fucking around, some being a human, and that's it. Now I'm just gonna sit this on my shelf, and in a handful of weeks I'll come back and just spritz myself liberally, and you won't be able to smell me through the screen, but I'll smell nice for myself. So thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you next time. Bye.